When we talk about interpretation of Omar Khayyam, the standard interpretation and the reason that he was made, he became very popular in 20th century is the assumption that he's an atheist, that he's an agnostic, he doesn't believe in anything. When, for example, at the height of his reputation, Hidayat prepared Taranahay Khayyam, his own compilation. He became the beloved of the secular, so-called secular atheist, agnostic Iranians of many generations. And certainly in the context of intellectual history, Omar Khayyam and Abul Ala al-Ma'arri in Arabic, these are two models of agnostic poets. But I think the texture of Khayyam's poetry demands a more sophisticated attention. In one of his quatrains, he says, اجزاء پیاله‌ای که در هم پیوست بشکستن آن روا نمی‌دارد مست. چندین سر و دست نازنین از سر و دست با مهر که پیوست و به کینه که شکست. If we have created a cup, even a drunken person doesn't break it. Then why is it if a human being has been created with such perfect a composition, then why does it die and wither away? Now, on the surface of it, you can say, okay, he's doubting. He's doubting even the design of creation. He says, and this is a running motif throughout Omar Khayyam's poetry, that if there were a design to this world, why is it that we die? And if we die, then there is no design to this world. First of all, the beauty of the poetic diction is engaging. If Omar Khayyam didn't believe in anything, then why compose so many poetry in negation of something? That is, he has a kind of a metaphysical fixation with issues of eternity. He is preoccupied with death, but his preoccupation with death mutates, translates into this beautiful poetry. And as a result, one can only think of Khayyam as this morbid fixation with death, but expressed in unbelievably beautiful poetry. So the beauty of diction and the fear of death in Khayyam come together. And that is the reason of our preoccupation with him. If we were completely to dismiss him as an atheist, okay, well, many people are atheists and don't believe in anything. We have had them in history and we continue to have them. But then the central trauma of Khayyam's poetic persona is resolved. Whereas that poetic persona is narrated around a central trauma, and that central trauma is the question of creation.
جامیست که عقل آفرین میزندش، صد بوسه مهر بر جبین میزندش. این کوزگر در چون این جام لطیف میسازد و باز بر زمین میزندش.
In this poem, Khayyam likens the creator, God, who has made Adam, or all of us, to a potter who produces the most beautiful pot, and then at the end of the day just breaks it down to smithereens. And he says that it's rather perverse. Why do that? Why has God created us and the world in such an imperfect way? Why do we die? And all that. And because this is the sort of quintessential view of Khayyam, of our transience in the world, that so much has been made of it, quite rightly in a way, that is his worldview. The German would put it Weltanschauung, you know, that his worldview is this poem, that essentially our lives are tragic, our destiny is tragic because we shouldn't be like the potter. God shouldn't have been like the potter who breaks its own creation. And in a way, Khayyam is a bit of a clay that every generation or every individual interprets its own version of Khayyam. Because we know so little about him. We only have the poems. And so we create Khayyam in our own image, in a way, each of us and each generation. And then somebody comes and says, that's wrong. and there is something else there. So in a way, Khayyam also is a clay that we mold according to our own temperaments.
Persian poets like Omar Khayyam and others in the 11th, 12th, and 13th centuries, and even 14th century, like Hafiz, these poets would describe the appearance of the divine. That is, God made manifest through God's creation under the appearance of an extraordinarily beautiful woman. That is, in this Islamic civilization, we have to make the effort to imagine, to realize, to apprehend that these medieval poets could describe the divine as made manifest through its creation under the guise of an extremely beautiful woman, and that only by looking upon this woman with love and realizing that every aspect of this beautiful woman is a manifestation of the divine, can the soul, in a very Neoplatonic fashion, move from the metaphor, that is what you see, to the meaning lying beyond, which is the divine itself. Omar Khayyam takes the part of the beautiful woman, makes the beautiful woman speak, and she says, Har chand ke rang booye zibost mara chun lale rukh chu sarv ve balost mara ma'lum nashod ke dar tarab khane khak naqash man az bahre che arost mara. And she says, although my person is beautiful, although the perfume which is wafted from my person is so agreeable, even though the color of my face could rival that of the red tulip, even though my waist is as slender as that of the cypress, it has not been shown, however, why my heavenly painter chose to make my figure. Why? Well, the answer is he created me, the beautiful woman, as a symbol of all creation. And by looking at me, you will be able to understand that there's a creator beyond creation. This is the message of Omar Khayyam in this kind of love poetry.